Let's go, everyone. Conquering food addiction, practical steps for transformation. Duane.
Number 2, baby.
13 years sober?
14. Don't short me that year, bro.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
March was 14
believe I did that. Yeah.
by the grace of God.
Yeah, that's awesome. I still have a food addiction, still working on it. That's why we're talking about it. And we're going to get into practical steps. And we encourage you, if you want to understand the spiritual aspect of it, listen to the first podcast. It's the one right before this one, before we get into practical steps. Because if you don't put spiritual practices in place, we believe you won't recover.
Absolutely, yeah. And the next bit of information might be taken out of context. So
yes.
We talked a lot about spiritual tools that we can use in order to develop past our addiction.
Yeah, it's so funny. Jesus talked about, the New Testament talks about being the cornerstone.
Yes.
And, this is pretty wild. It's like our spiritual teachings are the cornerstone, and then everything's built around that.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Because you're going to be off. If you don't have a cornerstone, it's a mason. That building's going to crumble, have issues. It's going to be all, because if you're off 1 degree, next thing you know, that everything's all fucked up,
And then, not to get too far off on a tangent with the biblical, the Jewish word for kaved, like honor your covenant. Excuse me, covenant. Your covenant with God is interpreted as weightiness. That God is has the ultimate weightiness.
I like that. Yes.
And that's also my cornerstone.
Yes.
So that's what holds me down is weight. It's heavy. You take it heavily. Honor your mother and father. That means to hold them in a heavy manner.
So if you're not doing the spiritual practices,
yes.
then you're not going to be able to recover.
If you don't have a covenant with what you hold highest, the highest version of yourself with God, what happens when a storm fucking comes? You blow away. You're light. You got no fucking weight to you. You can't stand a hardship.
That's why you go to the gym.
Yes, that's well. That's you can hold on tight, motherfucker. In regards to my spirituality, though, that's also an arc. That's what gets me through the flood. Like when hard shit happens, spirituality is an arc. Family is an arc. Patriotism is an arc. Those things get me through hard times. And if I don't have those things, when I lose my job or the girlfriend leaves or my dog dies or I get in an accident, whatever it may be, how easy is it for me to return to my addiction in order to be okay?
Yes, 100%. And I think this starts off, in spiritual growth. So these are practical tools that we're going to give you, and these will help you spiritually grow too. Number 1 is reframing food. This is very important.
Excellent.
Food to you is a spiritual practice on food would be that it is fuel and medicine for your body. That is it. It is not made for comfort. If you need to use food as comfort, there's something, and we talked about this last class, there's something wrong spiritually. So I don't want you to look at food. To reframe food would be, it is fuel and medicine. It is not for my comfort.
Powerful. Also in alignment with evolutional psychology. For thousands, hundreds of thousands of years, evolution tells us that's how we treated food.
Yes.
Food was fuel and food was medicine. Now in the modern world, so readily available. I don't even have to stand up to get a double cheeseburger.
Well, it's even funny. Like you go to the grocery store, you go to Walmart, for instance.
Yes.
And you could literally, I have to skip like 9 aisles. There's literally 9 aisles of nothing good for you. 9 whole aisles. And if you see stuff in a box, it's bad for you.
Yep.
If it's in a colored box with bright colors, it's even way bad for you. If you go walk down a frozen section and you see things with pretty colors and in boxes that are frozen boxes, that's bad for you.
Yep.
You're not going to get a good frozen pizza. You're not going to get good pasta. You're not going to get any of these things are not going to be good for you. Now, you can find good pasta maybe in Italy or somewhere like that. But in the United States, you're going to get sprayed fucking super toxic pasta. So I want you to understand, if it's fuel and it's medicine, then now that we've reframed it, what does that look like in your daily eating?
Excellent question. Every individual is going to be a little different. Important to reiterate that we are not registered dietitians.
No. Yeah.
We cannot legally tell someone what to eat, what not to eat, but we can definitely share our experience. I have a lot of experience in
Yes, you
regards
do.
to
Yeah. You're a bodybuilder. Yeah.
a nutrition program. I did competitive bodybuilding for 8 years. I also am an executive health coach. I help people go on a journey of development and expansion in regards to fitness, exercise, presence, expansion practice, and nutrition. And again, all I can really share is my experience. But what has worked well for me is having a detailed plan or a detailed direction to head in. No one has to subscribe to this 100%, but what works well for me is 6 meals a day. 6 small meals a day that I know I'm using as fuel. If there's there's always a protein involved. It's usually 5 or 6 ounces. The first 1 or 2 meals of the day is going to have some carbohydrates because I need these fast acting sugars to get into my bloodstream. And that's fast fuel. That's quick fuel for me that I need to get through my day. But the rest of the day, I don't really need that fast sugar. I don't need to flood my bloodstream with insulin. I can get through the rest of the day off of protein and some veggies or some fruit.
Yeah, that's so good. And then you look at it as fuel and medicine.
Yes. Is it healing my body? Is it helping me function at a high level? Bro, I wake up at 3 a.m. and I go till 8 p.m.
Yes.
Like I can function at a very high level, but I know it's because how I'm treating my body. If I was eating once a day and trying to do that,
no, you're done.
I'd crash and burn.
Are you eating fast food or burritos?
Yes, I'd be worth a shit. And it's also important for us to say it's very common for people to have just no education on how they're supposed to be eating. So take the time, invest in yourself. This is part of that self-love, self-care that we were discussing. Learn what's going to work best for you. Basically, you're a biochemical experiment.
Yes, and that's the fun part.
When it comes to your own individual nutrition.
And everybody's different and unique.
Yes.
So like we're not. I mean, maybe some people respond really well to vegetables. Some people respond really well to meat.
Yes.
Some people respond. Yeah, we don't want to get into political arguments over that. But if I'm looking at it as fuel and medicine, I can be pretty intuitive to know if it's making me feel bad or not. I can also know that my view of food portions are way off.
Oh, yeah.
And so the only way, I'm telling you guys this, the only way to gain clarity on this is a scale.
Fucking weigh it.
You have to, once you do it after a while, you'll know what like a chicken breast looks like, how much you need.
Yeah, what 6
or
ounces
ground
look
turkey
like,
or
yes.
whatever it is, how much rice do you want to eat or sweet potatoes or whatever. But that helps me. So scales, number 1. Number 2, you have to meal prep.
Prepare.
I don't see any other way around that.
Yeah.
Because I will trigger my addiction to food if I don't have a meal ready to eat.
Anxiety.
Because then I start getting the monkey in with evolution psychology, and that monkey likes to forage in the cabinets. He likes to be super hungry and see a McDonald's sign.
Yeah.
That monkey's not a cool guy to have around, and that monkey comes out when I'm hungry and I don't have something easy for me to grab.
Very good.
If I have a meal with some ground turkey in it and an avocado and I eat it real fast, I'm good. Next, I can move on, focus on my work.
Boom, you're prepared.
Delicious. Yeah.
And you're high functioning. You can
Yes.
focus on work and continue your day.
Yes.
It is a strategy to say, I don't really know what I'm going to eat today, but let's see how the day unfolds. Like that is a strategy. It's just a shit fucking strategy. Like you're probably going to lose your day.
No one's going to do that.
No, by the
in
time,
business.
no, you wouldn't show up to your meeting unprepared. I wouldn't show up to my client saying, I don't know how to teach you this, but let's give it a whirl.
Yeah, let's wing this.
Yeah, I got to freaking educate myself and prepare in advance. It's the same with our food. By the time 1 or 2 o'clock rolls around and my body is starving, what ends up happening from a biological standpoint is I go into sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, and my body says, lock it all down. Hold on
Yes.
to everything you have because we don't know when the next source of fuel is coming. I literally enter
so good, yes.
starvation mode or
Yes,
fight or flight mode, and I can't lose the fat that is kicking my ass that I'm trying to lose in the first place. It's like I'm setting myself up to fail. So in regards to a better strategy or a winning strategy, it's like fucking take the time, prepare. If you get good at it, bro, it takes me 30 minutes
to
meal prep for 3 days. Like I can cook 3 different proteins, 1 veggie, all at the same time because I got 4 fucking burners on my stove and an oven.
An air fryer, whatever.
And then there's food for 3 days.
Yes.
I got a big Tupperware container full of chicken breasts. I got a big Tupperware container full of ground turkey. I have a big Tupperware container full of ground beef. Another one with sauteed green beans. Another one is just a mixed green salad from the store. And then how long does it take me to lay out 3 smaller containers, get my scoop, put the container on the scale, and then just plop from the big one into the little one, big one into the little one, big one into the little one. That sets me up for success. I get through my day much better.
And if you're not willing to do that, then you're not willing to change.
And you're not willing to treat it as medicine.
It's the same as an alcoholic that doesn't want to get into addiction. You're not seeking clarity on it. And
Very good.
You're in the
Very
fog.
good.
And so if you're in the fog, you're fucking stuck.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be mean, but if you're not willing to reframe food, then our next one, which you just talked about, is planning ahead. Take a trash can and get rid of all the junk and all the stuff that's in your house.
It's so powerful to toss it, bro.
You cannot stock your kitchen with unhealthy options.
You'll eat it.
Yes, you'll eat it. Yeah, I mean, it's just that simple.
I'll fucking eat it.
So that's part of planning ahead, not just doing the meal prepping. And like he said, the meal prepping doesn't take that long. It's so easy.
No.
It's easy, and I love it because I'm so busy working. I don't want to think about food. I want to be able to plop it in the microwave, warm it up real quick, eat it really fast while I'm working still.
Yep.
I'll eat it.
Yep.
Not too fast, but I'll eat it fast. I mean, I just ate a little meal right before you saw me.
Yeah, I ate on the way
here.
here.
Podcast. Yeah, you ate on the way here. It's nice having the little meals, and they're all ready.
Both use it as fuel.
Yeah, and treat yourself and have fun with it. Next is managing triggers. Identify situation or emotions that lead to overeating. And then develop alternative coping mechanisms like exercise, journaling, or talking to a friend, whatever it may be. This is really important. So there's 2 things here. One is let's first identify situations or emotions that lead to overeating.
You know what a big one for me is the FMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah, that's mine. Yeah.
I fear that I'm going to miss out on the sugar.
Yeah.
Like what if I have to have it.
By the time the kids get it, and then they're going to have none.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
then I'm going to pout at myself.
Yes.
That's how I do.
In the last episode, we really talked a lot about tools to implement.
Yes.
Once I'm in that fear.
Mm-hmm.
So I experience the fear. I'm fear of missing out. I'm literally obsessing about donuts right now.
Mm-hmm.
God relieve me of this obsession. Can I invite something bigger than that fear into the equation that has a chance? This is also a better strategy. Mm-hmm. It's like going through the day worried about fucking missing out is a strategy. It's just a losing fucking strategy. I'm not going to win the game of life if that's my plan. Have a different type of implementation to bring into the situation when it arises. So the fear arises, boom, God, I need your help.
We do this in our relationship. So if you're in a monogamous relationship, maybe you're not, it doesn't matter, whatever. But if you are in a monogamous relationship, you're going to identify situations or emotions that could lead to either an emotional affair or a physical affair or whatever, having sex with someone else when you both agreed on to be monogamous.
Yes.
So you're going to watch for situations and emotions. You're going to be like, oh, I'm talking to this person a little bit too much. Now I'm kind of being flirty with them, or I'm talking to them and they're making me feel really good at work, or, I put myself in a situation where now I'm out alone with them in a vehicle. Like, these situations. Right. You can identify those very clearly.
Yes.
It's the same with food. The situation or the emotion is going to trigger you overeating. So why the hell would you even come close to? You can eliminate that by taking yourself out of the situation. Like how hard is it to meal prep on a Sunday afternoon when you're not doing shit anyways?
Yeah.
How hard is it to get rid of all the stuff in your kitchen that's unhealthy? Think about that. That's unhealthy for you. How hard is it to say no?
That's a hard one.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Yeah. But I mean, it's easy to do if you know that you're committed to something, and I think another one that I really like that's positive, and you're doing this with your son, and it's super important, is is to give yourself a big reward.
Yes.
If you go a week without, or say, I'm going to go 90 days and I'm not going to eat any sugar, and I'm going to go on a trip to Miami. We're going on a trip next week to Miami.
Yeah.
But that's kind of fueled us both to eat good because we want to take our shirts off. Well, not Leah, but I mean, she wants to wear a bikini, and all that stuff.
On the beach.
So we want to be on the beach, so we don't want to look like two fat slobs. You know what I mean? So it's motivated us. So maybe a trip. Maybe if you can't afford a trip, maybe plan a special night out on a date.
Yeah.
But make something that's really important and really big for you. Buy a new watch or whatever it may be 90 days out, and then give yourself little wins every week, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's going out to eat and eating something good. Like Leah and I like to go to Longhorn Steakhouse and order a steak and asparagus and a salad.
Get a big, nice steak.
Yeah, big, nice steak. And,
and
we'll reward ourselves like that.
Emma and I do the exact same thing. Like I cook 2 ribeyes with great seasoning and butter Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
As a result of our week of eating good, our week of treating food as fuel and medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so powerful, that tool, man. External motivation. Internal motivation is powerful and is going to get me very far. That's like the long haul, the mega game. You win the meta game with internal motivation. This becomes a way of life. I do it just because it's the right thing to do. But external motivation gets me through the hard shit.
Yes.
Well, one of the guys you sent me recently says 80-20. He's like 80-20. That little tiny tool of not having it around, that's like 80% of your fucking battle right there.
Yeah.
It's like,
done.
that's 80%. The other 20% is like having to say no at work or having to say no. That no is a hard practice too.
Yeah, they found that going to the gym, it's getting to the gym.
Yeah.
Is 80%.
80%.
Once you're there, a lot of times people will just start working. You'll just start working out. Even if you don't work out that hard, you're still going to do something.
Yeah. I see that all the time in the gym. People at least show up and they hit their machines and they leave. And it's like, that's a win. You made it.
Yeah.
So give yourself an attaboy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the next one, is develop alternative coping mechanisms like exercise, journaling, or talking to a friend. So what are the alternative coping mechanisms? For you, it's the gym.
Absolutely.
You went into bodybuilding. I mean, you went hard.
I replaced my alcoholism with gym addiction.
Yeah.
I was like, we don't just work out, we get on stage.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to take our body fat to the lowest.
Yes,
possible.
it's important. It was important for me to have that experience because I took health to an unhealthy extreme. Mm-hmm. You could literally knock me over with a feather day of a show because my body was so depleted and I was hurting. And so now I have that experience to share with others in regards to right relationship with food, in regards to what does health really look like? Does health look like starving yourself for 3 months? Like, that's not what it looks like to me anymore.
Right.
I'm not interested in doing that again. But I had to go through that experience to be able to share with others. Your optimal self is right relationship with food, is right relationship with the gym, is doing what the meeting you at the level you're at and progressing from there. Like, I'm not going to ask you to train 8 times a week. That's insane. You've never been in the gym, been in the gym in 3 months. It's like, start where you're at. Just go when you can go. Can you make it 3 times this week? Shoot for 3.
Yeah. And there's so many alternate coping mechanisms that you can have out there.
Absolutely.
Maybe you haven't gone to church in a while and that's for you. And you like the social aspects of church, start going to church again.
Perfect.
Whatever it may be. And whatever church it may be, a mosque, whatever it is. It's like, do the things that your higher self would want. Like, maybe it's going to network functionings for business, or you always say no to things. Maybe start saying yes and getting out there, and not going to the food section, at the meeting. But
when an obsession pops up for whatever it is, the sweets, can I go walk around the block?
Yes, that's a good one.
Can I just literally go for a walk in the sun?
That's literally what I do.
Can I sit in the sun, experience the nourishment from the one constant in our solar system, the sun.
Yes.
And absorb the vitamin D that I'm getting in that
Yeah,
moment.
that God gives us freely
all the time.
to heal us.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
And then engage my mitochondria, and all of a sudden my body's functioning at a higher level. It's like, wow, I should really get in the sun more often. You sent me that talk's been fucking lighting me on fire, bro.
Well, the good part about, like, for me, for like you're talking about the walking, it's so easy. One, number two, it's amazing. We're made for that. Evolutionary psychology teaches that we walked miles and miles every day. But I can throw on some headphones
Yes.
and put a spiritual podcast on, and next thing you know, I forgot all about my addiction.
Bro, this is our big deal. I'm simultaneously taking care of my physical health, mental health, and spiritual health because I'm educating myself as I exercise.
Just go for a walk.
I do that every single day. It's revolutionized my life.
Yes, yeah, I think that's awesome. And then finally, last one is seeking professional help. Consider working with a registered dietitian or a therapist specializing in eating disorders if needed. This is really important, especially when it comes to addiction.
Yes.
Is seeking professional help.
Absolutely.
And you've talked to dietitians before. I've talked to dietitians. We all have had those moments where we just needed someone to hold us accountable and be clear. You can go online and hire them. You can find them locally if you want to meet face to face. But I mean, if you have the funds, if you have the money,
Go for it.
go for it. Do it.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're going to learn a lot anyways.
It's important to recognize that wisdom is collective. That together, you and I can make a better decision than selfish, fearful Duane can make alone every time. Every time, wisdom will win out. And it is foolish not to take advantage of the wisdom that's available to us.
There's so many, and like there's meal prep companies. If you have the money,
They'll bring it to your
have
front
them, and
door,
you can
man.
tell them exactly, how many ounces. You can have a dietitian tell them. Usually, dietitians know people that will make the meals for you.
Yes.
There's so many places like that.
Something that I heard from the dietitian you sent me, from the nutritionist, that you sent me, that I really like, that has been resonating with me, and now I'm sharing it with all my clients that I want to share with everyone here, is because of the modern world and how readily available food is for us and how simple it is to get and how fake it is and how cheap it is. Because of the modern world, and because of our evolution, it is no longer survival of the fittest. Now, in today's world, it's survival of the wisest. In 30 generations, the people that are going to be alive are going to be descendants of the people having these type of conversations.
Yes.
What are you putting in your body as fuel? What's your environment like? Are you paying attention to negativity all day long on the news? Fear all day long from your dysfunctional family? Are you eating plastic, fake, chemical sugar all day long? Are you staying on the couch all day long? Is that your environment? If that's your environment, you're fucked. This is the first time in human history that our birth rate is below the level of population replacement. We cannot currently replace the existing population with the amount of kids that are being born. That means something's fucked. The globe, evolution is telling us no more.
Yes.
So the people that are going to be alive in 30 generations from now are going to be our descendants who are saying, focus on your protein. Focus on your exposure to
That's
sun.
so good, yes.
Focus on your spiritual development so that you're not dominated by the world around you. Focus on inner being and inner peace. Who's evolving? Who's going to carry on the human species? It's going to be the people that are availing themselves and practicing the wisdom that's available to us. It is not survival of the fittest anymore. It's survival of the wisest.
Yeah, I think that's great. We're going to end on that, but I want everyone to remember it's a journey,
Yes.
not a destination.
Very good.